Okay, let's discuss these riots. So we're at day 8 or 9 or 10 or wherever we are of these riots. It's insane. From the outside looking in, I mean, what's going on in America? I don't understand that country. I got a better chance of understanding Angola or Uganda or Cambodia than I got of understanding America right now. So, I mean, the big losers, I mean, Antifa, the President of the United States of America has said that Antifa is a terrorist organization. That means everyone across America who previously didn't know about them, which is probably most people, have now heard of them, and it's been a bad introduction from Antifa's point of view anyway. So they seem cooked. It's going to be a lot of kids that are going to have Antifa posters on their walls or whatever. Their parents are going to come in and talk to them, which is a really good thing. Parents should talk to their kids, and it's not going to go in their favor. If anything, they're just going to get worse and worse. Infringer is more of the reasonable people leave and more of the crazy people get in, and they seem cooked. The police look pretty bad. I mean, there's so much evidence out there that is just like ragdolling human beings. Like that 75-year-old guy that got knocked out seems to be a real problem in the minority of the police there. But man, I don't see how this is going to fix it. This is just going to force good cops out. There's been big resignations. I doubt it's the thugs resigning. And I imagine anyone in America or the world that thinks, oh, I just love to crack a skull today. I just love to knock a human being down and stomp on them. Hey, go join the police. Clearly you can do that sort of thing. I don't see how there's any victories there. Hopefully there might be some good news with the governors or the mayors of cities that have done well. Hopefully they'll get re-elected, and the mayors and the governors of the cities that have done badly, hopefully they won't get re-elected, but there's obviously no control over that. Black Lives Matter, don't know too much about them, but I don't understand why they protested. I'm going to say protested. That might merge into demonstrated, but what was the point? Like everyone, there was universal condemnation of what was clearly murder of George Floyd. That definitely was, but I don't see that the protesting added anything. It just, it's just going to be so many demonstrators and protesters that are going to be arrested right now. So I believe in some states in America, once you get arrested, you can't vote. Certainly makes it hard to get a job. I just don't see the point. The cops, there's going to be all the facial recognition technology, and there's going to be a whole bunch more people on the cops' radar. I don't see how that was a good idea at all. It just seems an absolute unmitigated disaster. Trump was reasonably quiet and has kept out of this a lot. I would too. I mean, this is just toxic. This is a disaster. Anyone that touches this, it's going to go badly. No one knows what to do. Do you oppose peaceful protesters? Are they peaceful protesters, and can you oppose them? How do you oppose them without hurting people in the way that, that 5-second grab of a very long video goes? You only show the bit when the cops are at their worst. So it's tough to say that the cops are doing a good job. He hasn't said much. There's really no nice, easy place to get involved in this other than to condemn Antifa and to put it back on the governors and the mayors. And that does seem to be what he's done. I think he's actually, everyone calls him stupid, but I think he's fairly clever for doing all of that. It's terrible. And it's obviously 6 months before the presidential elections. I'm guessing my best bet is that the Democrats, or whatever it is, some left-wing Democratic supporter organization, put this forward and try to make this happen, and it's backfired on them. Trump's going to look the law and order president in a time of lawlessness. That's money for old rope. That's rolled gold, Jerry. That's really, really good stuff for him. So, I mean, it's just, if Trump wasn't going to get back in power, it looks as though he's going to do it again. And I mean, you'd think that he'd definitely get the law and order vote. And there's a lot of cops, and there's a lot of cops' wives and husbands and things. So I just can't help but see it's a huge victory for Trump. I hope it stops really soon. And to that point, this is what I got to say the most about the protests. I don't understand why Americans just don't go home. Like, what if the cops rolled out and said, quick, everyone go home, and there was like a sarin gas attack like in the Tokyo subways? Or what if friggin' zombie apocalypse or an asteroid was crashing, and the cops said, we need you all to go home right now? What, you guys don't go home? Go home. Like, you can always go home and call the mayor's office or call the governor's office or write a letter or start an email campaign. Just because you go home because the cops tell you to, it doesn't mean that you're beaten or you're defeated or you're a cuck or anything. It doesn't make you weak. You're still well in the fight. There's plenty of things you can do from home. It's the safest place for you. It's one thing for a cop to punch you in the street, and they seem to be able to do that and get away with it. It's another thing for a cop to kick through your front door and punch you in your own home. Go to your home. It's where you're safe. Just go home. And from there, find some sort of community and take some sort of community action. In the olden days, like the suffragette days and things, when you'd see a protest, each particular group of protesters would carry a placard that would say, you know, the St. Vincent Macrame Association, or the Croydon women's cricket team, or something like that, and the cricket team would march as a group, and it would be a community thing, and the coming together of 1,000 communities would create a 10,000, 100,000 strong protest. And each community would have a president or a CEO, and they'd give orders, and you could regulate it. Right now, it doesn't seem to work that way. It just seems to be masses and mobs of disenfranchised people, and that's always going to go badly. The good thing about the community-based activism is that George Soros or Bill Gates or whoever evil Illuminati people that you think exist, they can't control the St. Vincent Macrame class or the Croydon women's cricket team. They can't control them. Those women come together to play cricket for their own reasons. How can Bill Gates influence that? Even it's not expensive to buy cricket gear. They've got the cricket oval you get from the local council. They can't stop you going there. There's no way to get power over them. And so when the St. Vincent Croydon cricket macrame class turn up, they're turning up for their own reasons. They're not turning up because they're being leaned upon by some social justice activists. Surely, if we're going to protest, we should protest that way. But what's happening right now is insane, and honestly, it's got to stop. Just go home. That's what I think. But I don't understand America right now. I always thought that Australia and America were fairly close, but what's going on right now? Clearly not. Anyway, I'll leave it there because this is getting a little long-winded. I'm going to make another one soon on how to fix this problem. I think I know how, but just got to put the finishing touches on it. Hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.